everybody, and welcome to Paper Wishes Vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I have a couple of new sets of Dazzle stickers that are really fun, and I can't wait to show you what we've done with them. The first one are pickup trucks. They come together in one package, and you get a brown finish and a black finish. And there are 48 pieces together, so there's 24 pieces on each of one of these sheets. And let me show you here. This first card that I did, these actually just came in last night, so I stayed up late and made some cards to show you today. So on this particular card, I used the wood and texture paper pack from hot off the press, and I used the white, kind of a whitewash wood, which is just great. Here we go, it's white and gray. And then I covered the card with that, and then I stamped it right down the center here using the all over chicken wire. And then I was able to use just a strip of red and white polka dots, and this is from Dotted Duos #2 paper pack. And then at the bottom here, it's got a Just For You Dazzle, Script Greetings Dazzle. And then I went ahead and used the oval cutting dies, also from hot off the press. So I have a black one and a white one. And then I went ahead and placed my Dazzle sticker. This is from the black sheet. And I liked this particular one because it's this truck because it's at an angle. And then I used, let's see, here we go, some Spectrum Noir. These are tri-blend markers. They are my favorite markers. And to color the actual truck, I used, this one is dark red blend. And if you're not familiar with the tri-blend markers, they come with 3 separate markers in each pen. So there's the medium pen. Didn't mean to start with that one. Here's the dark, here's the light, and then there's the medium. And what you do is I started off with the dark pen right at the top of the truck. And then I went directly to, I sort of skipped my medium, directly to the light pen and just blended the dark with the light. And that just blended them all together, did the dark over the fenders and then blended it down with the light as well. And then I used, this one is brown gray blend, and did a little bit of light just on the top of each tire, and then used the dark on the tire centers, and then right here on the grill I did dark here, and then just took that dark with and added light, and I just blended that down like that. Really easy. And then I wanted it to kind of ground that piece, so I took the light in the medium and I did that just underneath those tires. So really simple and great for Father's Day or for a birthday that's coming up. So here's one that I did because girls like trucks too. I love trucks. So I wanted to do one that has a little bit more of a feminine look to it. And so I took this truck from the brown set and I backed that on some paper that I used from Country Blooms paper pack from hot off the press. And this is a burlap. And then I cut my card down to about 4 inches and then just cut it away down the center, you can see there. And then used the circle dies. I used the circle and the scallop. And then backed my little dazzle with some burlap paper. And then I actually took an X-Acto knife and then I just peeled up some of these pieces right here that would be the leftover sort of innie pieces. And I just filled those back in to those areas. So let me show you what that looks like right here. There we go. So I just peeled up the dazzle, placed it on the burlap, and then once it was on the burlap, I just peeled up the pieces for like the fenders and the part of the hood right there, and then over on top of the cab I did that as well. And that kind of gave it a little bit more dimension there, and I really liked how it turned out. And then on the bottom edges here of the circle, I used some Country Blooms flowers in violet and tangerine, and those are from 49 and Market. And then I added some of these little gears and things that are on the dazzle sheet, and I backed those with some paper first and then cut out around them. There we go. I put this back on my sticker sheet so I can use that later. And using little scissors. It was my tip for this one. Made it really easy to cut out these elements as well. All right, so let me show you the next set. Here we go. This is a great set. This is beer dazzle stickers, and it's got both the half pints and the pints, and it's got some great borders here as well. And then there's happy birthday, you're the best, cheers, happy Father's Day, and a couple of different dads there. So you can see it covers a lot of different occasions. And here's a card that I did using this, once again, using the Wood and Textures paper pack. And what I did was on this, I used watercolor paper. Here we go. And placed my dazzle sticker, and then I colored that with these wonderful Prism brush markers. These are by Hunky Dory. And I put them on watercolor paper because, of course, they're water-based. And when you blend them, I found when I put them on regular paper, it kind of made the paper buckle. So watercolor paper is perfect for watercolor markers. So what I did with this one is I used, oh, I should mention, these have a wonderful brush end. And they've got this fantastic little fine point. I love that. So that way I could just get in all these little pieces right there. So I started out by coloring my half pint with the yellow. And then I took this sort of a golden brown and started at the top and just went down a little bit and then went back with the yellow and blended right over that. And then for a nice foamy top, I added, this is sort of a light, kind of a tan color, and I put that right there. So then, if you'll notice on my original card, my half pints are very glossy, okay? So, are they half pints or are they pints, Steve? He doesn't know. Are they half pints? I think they're half pints. Because the big beers are the liters. Okay, just wanted to clarify that in case there's somebody out there going, those are not half pints. All right, so I took my 3D crystal lacquer and I wanted to just put that right all over, really. I'm going to get the bubbles and everything. I just don't want to get the little foam part at the top. And what I'm doing is I'm squeezing out just a little bit at a time. And then I'm just sort of using the nozzle to drag it down. But it makes it really easy to get in to those little creases, little spaces at the top. And because the dazzle just works as a natural barrier, then I can get right up to the edges and it doesn't spill outside of that, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to only do half of that. All right, so as you can see, and it just gives this nice thick glossy layer, which I love. All right, where's my next card? Here we go. So this next card also uses the Wood and Textures paper pack. I used a circle cutting die, and then I just placed this one, this particular sticker, right directly on the circle. And on this one, I backed it first with some hammered gold paper, which is a specialty paper that's got this great texture on it. But to get that nice head on that beer, I wanted to use some texture paste. So when Paul had approached me about using the texture paste for the foam, I was like, okay, but you can't really like palette it on and all those little dripping foamy things. So I thought, I like to decorate cakes, and it's one of my hobbies. So I thought, you know, why not pipe it on? So that's what we're gonna do. So on this one, it's the same dazzle, but I also used, I wanted to color it a little differently to show you a different option. For this I used, again, the tri-blend markers, and I used the light yellow blend for the actual beer part. And then I put gold brown at the top. And just like with the watercolor markers, I just went down and blended that in. But because these are alcohol-based markers, I didn't need to use watercolor paper. All right, so to pipe on our paste, go. I just took a plastic knife. You can use a palette knife if you have one of those as well. And you don't need much of this, okay? So I'm gonna take my sandwich baggie and I'm just gonna put that right in the tip of my sandwich baggie. Make sure you cover this up right away. Another little tip to keep jars of paste and things like this from drying out, if you've had them for months and months, even a year, I like to put a little sheet of plastic wrap over the top once I've opened it, and then screw it back down, and it just gives it a nice seal again. So it makes it last a little bit longer. All right, so now I'm squeezing all of this down to the tip. Take my scissors and I'm gonna cut off the smallest amount of that tip that I can, because I can always make it bigger, but I can't make it smaller once I cut it. So then I'm going to start at the tip. I put my tip in that little dripping foam, and I'm just squeezing that on there, going back and forth. And I put it on pretty thick on my card, and you really don't need to do that. I was just having a great time with it last night. You can see mine's pretty thick. Okay, and that's how it's gonna look when you're piping that on. And just continue to get in those little spaces like that. Really, it's a really easy tip. Then, if you want to, you can take the crystal lacquer and do those little drops like that and let those dry. Now, I will tell you, I should mention, when using the crystal lacquer, this took about 6 to 8 hours before I would put this in an envelope to mail off, because you don't want this tacky at all when you put it in an envelope. Let this dry overnight. So plan ahead a little bit before you're gonna send this one in the mail. Same with this one. You want this stuff really, really dry. And also, before popping this in an envelope, you might wanna put a piece of cardstock over the top of it, just some scrap, so that it's got a little bit of a buffer between the envelope for mailing. Okay, so you guys, we've got a great money saver on both sets of stickers. Here we go. As I said, this one comes with 2 sheets. Oh, I should mention that the Beer Dazzles, this is 64 images on this one, and there's 48 on this one. We've got a great money saver. If you're watching us on our vlog page, just look over to the right and you'll see a photo of the bundle for that, and you just click on that and it'll take you to the bundle page. If you're watching us on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see links to everything, including paperwishes.com, where you can come and find more videos and lots of fun things to play with. Thanks for joining me today, and happy Father's Day.